Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I get a lot of intuitive downloads that I never really share on here, but I feel like I want to start just like sharing any type of like intuitive downloads that I get that I feel like might resonate with, with you guys or with the collective energy in general. So what I wanted to share today was an intuitive download I got about how people who envy you will always betray you. And this download came to me when I was watching just a random video. Like, I don't even have access to the video anymore. It was like a video that I came across on TikTok. But basically, the video was talking about how, at the root of betrayal is usually some sort of envious energy. And I never really thought about it. Like, I never really thought about that. Or I never really stopped and reflected on the fact that the people who have betrayed me in the past, when I look back on it, there definitely were signs or like certain tendencies that they have or that they had that leads me to believe that there was some sort of jealousy or there was some sort of envy at the root of it. So, yeah, I just started getting a lot of intuitive downloads about these situations. I just wanted to share the messages that came through. So basically, what I was getting is that when somebody is envious of you, okay, let me say this first. There's two different paths that I was seeing, right, when it comes to envious people. And I did briefly mention this in my pick a card reading that I'm uploading about envy. Like, I briefly mentioned this in the introduction of that video. But basically, there's two different paths that I was picking up on. And the first path that I was seeing was someone who is close to you, that they start to envy you due to them being so close to you. It's like, because they're so close to you, they get to see certain traits, certain qualities that maybe other people don't necessarily get to see. Like, there's certain things within you that only someone who's really close to you has the ability to observe. And I feel like it could have sparked some envy in people. So this could have been like your family members, right? Because they are so close to you, like even from a young age, they were able to see like certain gifts that you had, or maybe you just had like a certain spark to you, like there was a certain light in you, especially if you're someone who was born to be like a generational curse breaker. That is a very important spiritual mission, a very important purpose. And so usually people who have that purpose carry this particular type of like light in them, or this particular type of energy within them. And people can be jealous of that from a very young age. Like, you could have had family members who could see that light in you before you could even see it, and they could have tried to bully you, or to kind of like stomp that light out of you, to kind of to try to stomp your spark out, or stomp your fire out. And again, this could have been something very confusing, because this could have been going on even when you were really young and you couldn't even really see the potential in yourself. You couldn't even see the spark in you. But it's like these people within your family were scapegoating you, making you into the black sheep, bullying you and things like that. Or maybe even when you went to school, there were like kids who were like bullying you and like just outcasting you and things like that. Because again, it's like intuitively certain people can sense that spark in you from a very early age. It sparks envy in them, and they respond by trying to knock it out of you, so that they don't have to feel that feeling of envy. And so again, that's one route that I'm seeing of like people who were just close to you, like you were born into a family, or maybe they were peers at your school, like they had to spend a lot of time with you because you were in the same class as them. Or maybe it's friends, like people who befriended you, like maybe they befriended you at a time where they thought that you guys were equals, and then when they got closer to you, they got to see certain traits in you that made them feel inferior, and then they started to feel envious. So again, one path that I'm seeing is people who were already close to you developing an envy for you because they see something in you, and then that in turn makes them betray you. Like, they end up betraying you. And I'm going to explain why they end up betraying you. But first, I'm going to explain the other path that I was seeing as well. So the other path I was seeing was people who they weren't initially close to you, right? They actually observed you from a distance, and their envy was sparked in them from a distance. So for the first path I was seeing, these are people that are close to you, and then the envy came up because, they're seeing certain things in you, right? But this other path that I'm talking about, these are people who watch you from a distance, and they already feel this envy for you from a distance. So they didn't even have to be close, or didn't even have to know you to have this envy sparked in them. They saw you from a distance and it sparked in them. And so what they will try to do then is to befriend you. Now they want to be close to you. And again, don't confuse this with the first path, because the first path I was talking about was people who they may have befriended you, but it wasn't because they were envious of you. They befriended you because they might have thought like, oh, like this person is on an equal playing field as me. Or they might have even thought like, oh, this person is a little bit beneath me for some reason. Like, there are people like that. They will befriend you because they think they're above you in some way. And then they get close to you and it's like, oh my God, like they start to feel envious because they see certain things in you that they didn't know were there. And suddenly they're feeling inferior. And now, they're targeting you or they're envious of you. But that's not what I'm talking about. Like, I'm talking about people who watch you from a distance and they already feel envy. And so they befriend you specifically because they feel envious of you. You see the difference? One is like, come be my friend, and now I see something in you and now I'm envious. And the other is like, I'm envious of you, come be my friend so I can study you. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, the second route is just people who watch you from afar and they're already envious of you. They're envious of something in you that they see from afar. And they decide, hey, I want to befriend this person. And usually these are the types of people who will try to usually try to like copy you, or like they'll come in and try to be you, try to adopt your energy, and they'll try to drain you in the process. Like, they try to take the traits that they're envious of, they try to drain it out of you, and they try to implant it within themselves. So if they saw you as someone who was very confident, they'll come into your life and try to drain you of your confidence, and they will try to take it for themselves. And they will end up trying to leave the situation like more confident while you're sitting there drained. See what I'm saying? So yeah, two different routes that can take when it comes to envious people. But again, usually the path is the same. Like, it leads to the same destination, I should say. Two different routes, same destination. These envious people, whether they started out envious or not, or like they grew into being envious, they will end up betraying you. That usually is the ending of these types of situations. They end up completely betraying you, stabbing you in the back. Sometimes it comes out of left field, like you can't even believe it. You're just kind of like, I can't believe this person of all people would do this to me. Like, it's that shock where you're just completely like, you literally feel like your life is like a movie, like that type of betrayal. That type of betrayal. And again, at the root of this is envy. These are people who they see something in you that they feel like they want for themselves. And unfortunately for them, instead of them being like, okay, this is a trait I admire in someone, and this inspires me to go out and embody that trait, or this is like something that someone has that I admire and it empowers me to go and get it myself. Like, instead of taking that route, sometimes they feel like, unfortunately, they don't have the ability to create the thing that they're jealous of. They don't have the ability to embody the things that they're jealous of, to embody certain traits, to go out and get certain things. They don't feel like they have the ability to do so. So what they will then try to do is target you and destroy you, because they feel like that is the next best thing to help to soothe them. Because, being envious, again, when you're someone who associates envy with shame, like when you feel like it's a shameful thing to be envious of someone, shame is a very destabilizing and, very low vibrational emotion. And when I say low vibrational, I don't mean like it's something you're not supposed to ever experience. It's like a dirty emotion. No, like emotions are literally just showing us, basically like a roadmap of what it is that we are experiencing and where we are needed to go towards. So when we are experiencing any quote unquote negative emotions, information about ourselves and telling us like, okay, this is the next move that I need to make based off of how I am feeling, or I need to reevaluate the situation based off of how I'm feeling. So when I say low vibrational feelings, I don't mean that they're like inferior feelings that you should never experience, but there are feelings that, we have to be mindful of, because when we're in those low vibrational emotions, if we don't take the right action in order to shift them, we can end up taking toxic or destructive action because we can be so desperate to shift out of those emotions. So when someone feels envy, right, and their mind immediately associates that with feeling ashamed, they want to quickly get rid of that. And if they feel like they can't get the thing that they are envious of, if they feel like they can't embody the thing they're envious of, or they can't manifest the thing that they're envious of, they start to go a little bit berserk. Like they start to lose their mind a little bit because they want to rid themselves of that heavy energy of feeling envious and ashamed. And so the next best thing for them is to target the person that they are envious of, to try to bring that person down, and to even try to switch places with the person, like to even try to copy the person. And that's where we get into the whole like destiny swapping and things like that. But yeah, they will betray you, because betraying you is the ultimate way to yield some sort of to what's the word, wield some sort of power over you. I'm pretty sure that's the word. When I'm channeling, I always forget English. But betrayal is the ultimate way to do that, because if you really think about it, like if you really, really think about it, in order for someone to betray you, like they have to be close to you. They have to. You have to have let this person in some way. You had to have let your guard down to feel betrayed by a person. Like if you had someone in your life, right, but you didn't trust them, right? You didn't trust them at all. You saw them as kind of like a snake, but maybe you still keep them around because maybe you've been friends for a long time. There's comfort there or something like that. When they do something to betray you, you're not going to really feel the full weight of it. Like you're going to be like, oh, that's a snake. Like you said you were my friend and look at what you did. But a part of you is going to be like, I knew it. Like I knew this person was a snake. I never trusted this person. Like I figured they were capable of something like that. You see what I'm saying? But if you let your guard down to someone and you think they're not capable of certain acts, that means that like you really let them, that means that you really like let them into your space. Like you really let this guard down with them. And so the fact that you let this guard down with them, they already have this feeling of, okay, I'm equals with this person, right? Like in order for them to let me into their life, I have to be equal with them, right? Like that's why people are always so pressed to be friends with like celebrities, influencers, and things like that, or to be friends with people who they feel like has high status, because they feel like if this person is vulnerable enough to let me into their space, to call me a friend, like that means that I must be equal to this person. You see what I'm saying? So there's people who will go out and specifically try to attach themselves to celebrities and things like that because they want to feel like they are equal to someone who they feel like has more value than them, or someone that they look up to. You see what I'm saying? But in reality, all of us are inherently valuable. All of us have equal self-worth, But anyway, that's downloads for another another video. But yeah, I just wanted to make the point that like letting someone into your life, it's you energetically telling them like you are my equal, right? Subconsciously telling them you are my equal. So the fact that you have let them in, they already get to feel like they're equal in a sense, but they still feel that envy. So now they need to take it a step further. They can't just be your equal, meaning they can't just be your friend, or even your partner, because this could be a romantic partner that's jealous of you, or a family member. Like they can't just have that equal connection with you. They have to take it a step further. They have to now hurt you in some way in order for them to soothe that envy, in order for them to feel like they need to feel above you now. Let's put it that way. Once that envy sparks, they're fine with feeling like, oh, we're equal, or they could even be fine with them feeling like, oh, they're a little bit above you. But it's like once that envy sparks in them, no, they now need to feel superior to you. Like that's the only way the only thing that's going to soothe them. And so they will betray you. They will, because then they have now hurt you. And people equate pain with power. So if they don't have the power to change their own life and do whatever they need to do to, change their situation so they won't feel envious of you. They don't feel like they have the power to do that. So now they have to try to put this power over you, or have this power over you, to where they have hurt you. They've inflicted pain on you. You know, betrayal actually can cause PTSD. Like, there is such thing as betrayal trauma, betrayal PTSD. And well, for what I've read, it can cause like PTSD symptoms. I don't know if it can cause full blown PTSD. Probably can. If it's causing the symptoms, then yeah, it could probably cause full blown PTSD. But think about that for a second. Having the power to completely rewire someone's brain because you betrayed them. Like, some people who are envious, they get off on that. That soothes their envy. You know, especially if whatever it is that they end up doing when they betray you, especially if it takes away from the thing that they were envious of in the first place. For example, let's say that they were envious of your relationship, right? If they can now betray you in some way, they can feel superior to you. And if they can betray you by like stealing your partner or like sleeping with your partner, that's like a bonus for them. That's like a double, because it's like, now I've betrayed you and caused you pain, so I feel like I'm above you. But then also now I've taken the thing, or I've destroyed the thing that I was envious of in the first place. You see what I'm saying? So, you know what this reminds me of? If you've ever seen the anime Peach Girl, this has Psy written all over it. And if you know, you know. Like, if you watch Peach Girl, Psy was this like psychotic, narcissistic, jealous character, and she just would go out of her way to try to destroy the other character that she was jealous of. Like, if you watch Peach Girl, you know, it was like, it's the craziest, like, most drama filled anime. I'm thinking about starting my anime club up again on Patreon, just so we can analyze Peach Girl, because it's like, it's crazy the amount of like the amount of narcissism just in that anime. It's just so many like psychology studies and like lessons within one anime. But anyway, like I was saying, they have the ability to cause you pain through the betrayal. And if they can take whatever it is they were jealous of through the betrayal, then that's even better for them. Like, there are people who, they're jealous of your career, so they will betray you by doing like just something horrible to you. And they're also hoping that it broke you down to the point where now you can't even focus on work. So now it's like, it's killing two birds with one stone. They betrayed you in some way, like maybe they did something behind your back, or like, you know, just anything that people can do. Like, I can name a million things, because there's just so many wicked stories online of people just doing terrible things to other people. Like, I can think of like a million examples right now, but you know, just all the ways that people can do terrible things to, you know, hurt you. And then they're low-key hoping that, you know, it breaks you down to the point where you can't even function. Like, so the blessings that you have, or like certain traits that you have, like, they're hoping that the betrayal hurt you so badly that you don't even have those blessings anymore, because you can't maintain them. Maybe you can't get up and go to work as much as you used to be able to. Maybe you lost the confidence to be able to, you know, build that business that you were building. It's like they're hoping to not only betray you through the pain, but to also stagnate you through the pain, so that whatever it is that they were envious of, they're hoping that it gets like squashed out of you, so they don't ever have to see it or experience that envy again. So yeah, that's the intuitive download that I was getting. If you have been confused about why people consistently betray you, then now you know why. There's usually envy at the root of it, you know. And just because maybe you're someone who, maybe you feel like, you know, you don't really see the good in yourself at times. Like, maybe you've been through so much abuse, so much trauma, that sometimes it's hard to see the good in you. Trust me, other people can see it. You might be like blocked from seeing it sometimes because of, you know, just certain subconscious beliefs that you have to reprogram that have been implanted there due to, you know, abuse and trauma. So you might not be able to see it at times because, you know, your view of yourself can be distorted, but other people can still see it. So don't ever think that just because you're going through a time period where maybe you don't think as highly of yourself, don't think that other people can't see that in you, you know, especially if you're someone, or like, don't think that other people can't see the good in you. Like, they can see it in you. They can see the potential in you, especially if you are someone who, like I said, you've come here for a specific mission. You know, God has given you certain gifts, certain talents, that you're meant to use in this realm to, you know, help yourself and to help other people. And don't ever think that people don't see that light in you and that they don't feel envious of it. And it's a shame because it's in them as well. They just feel disconnected from it. So they feel like they have to come and like drain it out of you and like siphon it through you. But it's like they need to go and tap into source and like get that energy themselves, like connect with that part of themselves because it's there. They don't have to come and try to bother you or envy you or destroy you to get it. Like they have the ability to get it on their own. They just have lost sight of that. So yeah, just be very mindful, be very careful of who you let into your circle. Like sometimes it's very difficult to tell. Like I can't even say, oh, be careful, don't overlook any red flags. Because it's like sometimes it's hard to tell. Like sometimes like people put on a really good mask and like, you know, sometimes people really do come into your life and maybe they don't expect to feel envious of you initially, but then it kind of takes over them. So it's like it's sometimes these things just kind of creep up and they kind of get into your life without you being able to shield yourself from it. But hopefully moving forward, we'll just be able to be very mindful of the people that we let into our lives and to have very strong boundaries and to let that guard down slowly but surely in a safe manner so that like certain types of people just can't sneak their way into our lives because again, betrayal is just it's a lot and it's hard to recover from. And so the last thing we want is to keep on experiencing it over and over again. So yeah, I feel like for those of us who have experienced it, for those of us who know that we have like a specific purpose here, a specific mission, we just have to be very mindful of the people that we let into our lives and get to know people extremely, extremely slowly before we fully embrace them and fully trust them. And that doesn't mean being paranoid or fearful and not letting anyone into our lives because that's not what we want either. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Again, whenever I get these intuitive downloads, I think just put them in a voice note, share them. It only takes a couple minutes to share them. So why not, right? So yeah, like I said before, I am open for personal readings. If you want to book a reading, you can. I do tarot readings, which is like 3 questions that you can ask about any subject, any situation, any person you can ask about. I do life purpose readings where I give you, your specific life purpose, like what you're meant to accomplish and aim for this lifetime. I do birth chart readings as well, which is pretty self-explanatory, anything that you want to know about your birth chart. And then I also do past life readings for anybody who wants to know like certain things that have happened in their past life and how it's affecting them this lifetime. So yeah, the links to those will be in the description box down below if you want to book with me, and I will see you guys in my next video.